This is NDTV, and you're watching NDTV 24/7.
Hello and welcome. We're coming to you from the beautiful town of Luton, which is north of London. You're hearing this historic Luton clock tower, which is perfect timing. Very important in journalism to be there at the right time at the right place. Okay, we are talking about this one woman from Gujarat in India who today here is living in Britain as a British citizen. She's going to do something totally unthinkable, unimaginable. Her name is Bharulata. She's like any other Indian woman, married, got married early, moved here, had children, and today is a mother of two, a lawyer, a qualified lawyer. But what she's going to do is set out on a journey where she's going to be driving for 75 long days from UK to India, correct? Driving, I repeat, UK to India in a car. We don't know which one, must be a massive SUV. It's a BMW. Okay, so is she crossing Germany as well? In her list of countries, maybe. Because I saw
32 countries.
32 different countries. I know. So she's touching upon 32 different countries to get to India. And once she gets to India, where is she going to be?
She will be finishing the journey in Mahad, which is in Maharashtra. And one of the reasons for her choosing that is very, very pivotal in this mission of hers is because it's the hometown of Baba Sahib Ambedkar, who was the father of the Constitution of India. And Baba Sahib did a lot to uplift the women's rights and the child rights as well. So I think she's doing a tremendous job by selecting that venue instead of choosing. It would have been easy for her to go to Mumbai or some major city or even Delhi, but I think that speaks a lot about what she thinks about this mission and why she's doing it.
And how genuinely committed she is. I want to briefly tell our viewers, because they must be wondering just why would she be driving to all the way to UK when you to India when you have so many discounts going on different airlines. Now here's what Bharulata is going to be doing. She's going to drive from the UK to India on a BMW, or not to be specific about the brand, but on an SUV, but ouch, I just gave that away. So she is doing this because she wants to drive a message. Also, it's an attempt to create a world record, not one, but about 4 or 5. And I've stopped counting, and now I don't have a count now. Guinness World Records of possibly the first and the only woman to have achieved this, driving as many kilometers as 32,000 odd kilometers in about 75 days. And the message that she wants to send out is to protect, to empower the girl child. She's spoken of different things such as female feticide, educating the girl child, and she's stated examples of her own personal life, which is just so very inspiring. You come from the same area in India where Bharulata comes from. How bad is it for a girl child then?
Well, I come from Mumbai, and Bharulata came from more of a rural background, but I could relate to that because there are places where it is really, really bad for a girl child, and although it's improving with Mr. Modi's initiatives and schemes and mission, but it's a gradual improvement which we need more speed. And I think Bharulata, no pun intended, but her drive and her speed is going to really galvanize that revolution and hopefully generate awareness for everybody in India and around the world that women and girls are equal to everybody. If not, I would go even beyond that and say they are better than men.
Okay, very brave indeed of you to say that. Hopefully the drive to empowerment on 5th gear or gear 6, pun intended, this time. Yes.
You talked about making Luton famous, and I think the work she's doing, it will bring a relationship between UK and England. Great, and a lot of Asian women here will feel proud about it.
So we've been talking for so long about Bharulata. Who is Bharulata? We're going to be talking to her very soon. Stay tuned to NDTV. bring to you Bharulata, the star of London, of Luton, and eventually the star of the UK and India that she's going to be, because what she's going to do is drive around UK and so many other countries. How many? 32 other
32 countries, yes.
And finally reach India.
That's right, yes.
So she's starting end of August. She reaches India sometime around Diwali. Will be en route somewhere.
I'm hoping to be in a Varanasi on a Diwali day because it's a Hindu holy place so I want to see what it's like
In
Varanasi.
Okay, she's really curious, isn't it? Why would anybody take to driving all by herself? This is what Luton is famous for, isn't it? All the fancy cars and driving and all that. So why are you driving? There are so many other ways to drive a message. Why would you drive?
Driving, I have always enjoyed driving. In between, I had a bit of bad patch when I had an accident and I didn't drive. I suffered multiple injuries and post-traumatic stress disorder. This drive to India, this dream of driving to India, possibly helped me recover from my post-traumatic stress disorder. So driving been very important part of my life. I have sort of, anytime I was feeling down or not feeling up to anything, I would drive long away, my car somewhere, walk long way and then come back. So driving been really kind of very important, sort of very key part of my life. And I wanted to sort of I always felt, what would it be like to kind of drive back to India, to place I come from.
So the drive. Have you ever thought of that, to go back to India in a car? Have you ever thought of that, Indy? So this is something that, like we said, she's been on it for some time, and I have clearly seen absolute support for her from different people of the community and the society and people from the parliament. Mr. Subodh, her husband, is her sponsor. And how loving is that, you know, when you have your husband just smilingly giving away all the cash he has. Any brief idea of what scale this expense is going to be like?
Well,
give us an idea.
Probably anything between 30 to 35,000 pounds, I think.
Right, so that's what a holiday costs across.
Including the car, because she already got a car.
That's excluding the car. So 32 countries in 75 days will cost something like that. And of course cost a lot of sacrifice. How are you going to manage when she's going to be away for 75 days?
Well, we have organized childcare, and obviously I will need to adjust my duties as well. But having a busy
What do you do here
surgical
in
practice, I work as a urologist, so I work obviously surgeon, a urologist. So having a busy practice, as you know, as a surgeon, it's a busy lifestyle and a busy daily routine. But I'll have to manage somehow.
How are you going to manage the food? You're a vegetarian.
I'm a Gujarati by birth, so I can survive on a khakra and pickle. I think I'm taking lots of khakras and pickles and a lot of instant.
Please leave some for them as well.
No, they don't like that. He's a Maharashtrian. They like Maharashtrian food, so he's not fan of
Vada pavs this side and khakras this side. Have you cooked for them?
I'm beginning to, because it's still almost 3 weeks to go. So in 3 weeks I'll fill up the freezer. But I would cook for all my, like, at least for 65 odd days, because they'll be flying every weekend to meet me wherever I am, and then they are coming to India also. So it's about 60 days food. Yeah.
Wow. So she's going to be cooking for 60 odd days for her husband and children while she's going to be away. I would say that's the first record that she'll be creating before she sets off on the journey, to cook for 60 odd days. Do you cook, Mr. Subodh?
Not much. Yeah, I can boil rice.
You can boil rice. Okay, not bad for a start, but you'll get, after these 75 days, you're going to be a totally different man.
Yes.
Absolutely changed. Trust me on that. What do you think will be the biggest challenge? Because I know you're this super confident, I can do it woman, but I'm sure you have thought of things that might be worrying you.
Frankly speaking, I'm not worried about anything at this stage. I don't know why, but I'm just feeling so confident that I'll be able to do it. Yes, I'll miss my family. That is the biggest challenge I think I will face, because I've never left them for this many number of days. So that's the one thing. that is sort of making me feel a bit, oh, I'll miss them. But then we made a provision that once a week I'll have a
You'll meet
day
them.
off. Yeah.
You'll meet them, and it'll be a holiday also, a nice family holiday when they meet you in another country.
Yeah, so they'll be flying out every Saturday morning and flying back again Sunday night, and that's how we have planned it. So,
Okay, now lastly, you're going to be meeting Mr. Modi once you finish this 75 days of driving, and you end at Dr. Ambedkar's hometown, which
my husband's hometown.
the Dr. Ambedkar of your life. But what would you be telling Mr. Modi? Have you thought about it?
Well, we are hoping to meet Mr. Modi, so it's not confirmed, but we are, and having kind of read too much about him, I'm confident that
Knowing him, I think he will give you an audience. But
Yes.
if he does, what is it that you want to tell him? Because I know that you're doing this because you want to spread the message to the world on not just saving the girl child, but giving her a good quality life.
Mhm. I will be requesting the Prime Minister to promote girls' education a lot more in rural parts of India, because in urban things are already in a place, things are there, but rural parts needs a lot more support, I think.
Why would you say that? Tell us about you. How did you grow up?
Because I was born in a small village in Gujarat, in a Navsari district. I lost my father at very young age. Life was a bit difficult for me. Two girls, me and my sister, two girls without a father. Like that kind of, it was unfortunate thing that we didn't have a father, but it was sort of, it's sort of not a stigma, but similar. I mean, I can't explain the feelings that I heard people saying things, or that kind of sympathetic approach you have, or with sympathetic approach, it's not all sympathetic approach also, but it's sort of not want to see you progressive. Yeah, not.
So you did suffer some hardship as you grew up, and the region you belonged to in Gujarat was more tribal.
It is a tribal district. We don't, I mean, in the city, we don't have, I mean, it's not that kind of, it's a bit mixture. I mean, we have 48% tribal population in the district, but in the cities, it's fine. But but we come from villages, so we see more tribes, yes.
Sure. And you got married when? What age?
30.
At 30. And what is it that you want to mainly tell people that on the girl child? What is it that you want to tell? How are you going to touch people's heart?
I feel that we are not, well, people say pariah, done this, that. We are not properties, we are human, and treat us like a human. Even the girls from villages, and I think they need more encouragement, they need more support, I'll kind of say, I come from this region, I can do it, so you can do it too. So I wish to encourage a lot of girls, as many as I could possibly. I'll be visiting many girls' school every day. When I'm there, I'll be entering in India from eastern part of India, and I'll be driving all the way to Mahad in Raigad district. During my entire trip in India, I'll be meeting as many as girls' school, not the city, in the cities, but in rural parts where I think more encouragement is needed.
I'm worried about her safety in the entire journey as well, but at the same time I'm very confident that she will do it. And I've seen her, like when I came to this country, obviously I wasn't driving because I hadn't learned driving, and she used to drive me everywhere. She used to take me for the interviews of the hospital, she used to take me to meet my friends.
Here is a woman who wants to drive a message, literally so, and she wants to get there to India, to the heart of India, where the man, Dr. Ambedkar, wrote the Constitution of India. She wants to go there, and make that her endpoint, and then keep meeting as many girls, hoping to touch them in some way or the other. And that's what she's going to be doing. You want to write your messages to Bharulata, if you want to donate in some way, if you want to just reach out to her, ooe@ndtv.com is where you write to. Drive safe, have fun.
Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Bharulata sets off on this unthinkable journey. I have with me representatives from the Houses of Parliament, Luton North, MP of Luton North, Mr. Kelvin Hopkins, and Mr. Shukar, MP of Luton South, and Mayor of Luton. And Luton I emphasize because Luton is not just where Bharulata belongs to, but Luton is also the place where the Indian diaspora is here in a very large number, contributing so very well to the economy in Britain indeed. And I'm curious, this is my question again, is not just about Bharulata, but about women of Indian origin who are doing so very well here in the UK. Just what is the British perception of these enterprising women? What does it change the way you perceive women?
Well, of course, what we've seen, in particularly the subcontinent over numbers of years, are very strong, prominent women, even women prime ministers, as we have here in the UK. You know, underlines the historic links between the UK and many countries in the region, including India. And I have to say, this project is really inspirational. You know, epic in scale, the number of days travelled, the distance going, the number of world records that might be set. You know, we're really proud to have this link, not just as the United Kingdom, but as Luton as well.
Sure. Mr. Shukar, thank you for that. Mr. Hopkins, are you just thrilled? Are you full of admiration just for her? Does it change your perception now?
Well, I've always had a high regard for women in general, and I think men have got a lot to learn from women in the way they behave and the way where they are.
Universally, you mean?
Well, universally, yes. I think, you know, if we have a bit of a feminine side, that's just a very good thing. Probably less warlike and more peaceful. But women in general now are doing extremely well, particularly women from the South Asian subcontinent, from India in particular. You know, in education, I think they're doing better than boys all the way through, because they're more diligent, more studious, and more sensible. You know, boys, unfortunately, we've got to learn a lot from girls to do equally well. I wish I'd been more sensible when I was young. I did quite well in the end, but I would have done better had I not, you know, been a boy. I think if I'd been a girl, I'd have done rather better. So we have a lot to learn from girls, but I think girls have to be given the opportunity. And I think what Bharulata is going to do in India in particular is to raise the aspirations of girls, raise the attitudes to girls, so that people realise that education and equal rights in every respect are so fundamental.
Is it easy to take instructions, orders from women MPs as well, your colleagues in the Parliament, given now we have a woman Prime Minister? In Scotland, the First Minister is a woman. In Germany, Angela Merkel is going to be negotiating the talks about Brexit. Standing there.
Well, I've had the good fortune to be surrounded by strong women all my life. My wife and my daughter, my stepmother and my mother were all very strong character women, so I'm used to strong women. I'm not used to the submissive women, you know. And I
Who's that anyway?
Indeed. So I welcome that. I think it's very, very good. I'm perfectly happy to take instructions or advice from a woman if she's senior and more intelligent than me. Most of them usually are more intelligent. But you know, I'm perfectly happy about that. But I do appreciate that across the world some men are not happy about that. And I think we have to educate men as well as girls to make sure we accept that men and women can and should be equal in all ways.
Here in Luton, we know that the Indian diaspora is really, really big. Are they the ones who party hard really? How enterprising are they?
If we look around in Luton, we know women run businesses from Indian background, very successful businesswomen, and I have come across them throughout my life of being in Luton, working in the community and being in the council as a councillor and the mayor as well. It's really fantastic. I think there are a lot of women who are out there, very enterprising, playing really fantastic role in not contributing just to the society but also to their family as well.